are you free or are you determined?
I'm determined to be free.
But you're failing at it.
Oh, how so? To explain, dear
Well, because
Professor.
you would have to admit, this is an age-old philosophical debate about free will and determinism, but let's make it simple for our fans. Thank you, fans, by the way. We appreciate
Continue to be our
you
fans
contributing.
by contributing to us by through
So
PayPal or Patreon.
yes,
Which I
yes.
love.
Yeah, thank you so much. But the age-old debate is whether or not we only think that we're free, and yet we're really determined by our genetics, by our place in history, by our environment, by our parents, by our schooling, by our teachers, by our religious leaders, by our politicians. All of these influences determine the decisions that we make. Now, if we're at a party and we're going to eat a chocolate chip cookie, okay, are we determined to eat five cookies? Are we determined to eat only one cookie? Okay,
Or are we
that's
determined
not
to eat the oatmeal raisin?
right. That's not what we're talking about when we talk about freedom and determinism. People get this mixed up. Okay, there's hard determinism and then there's soft determinism. Don't go there. Okay, do not go there. All right.
What's the difference
Well,
between
hard
and
determinism
soft?
is everything. Everything is determined absolutely. Let me give you their argument. It's very simple. Everything that happened exactly as it happened, and in no other way. Correct? Everything that happened exactly as it happened. Correct?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Everything that's happening now depended upon everything that did happen. Correct?
To a
Everything that's
certain
happening now
extent.
depended upon everything happening the way it happened exactly and no other way.
To a certain extent.
No, 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 no. Everything that's happening now depended upon everything that happened prior to it.
I don't know if I can fully agree with that premise.
Well, you think about it. Okay, so let me just continue their argument. Therefore, everything that will happen is determined by everything that is happening now and everything that has ever happened precisely as it happened. So there's the argument for hard determinism. Okay?
Okay.
Not to be confused. And now the free will side simply says, no, there's randomness in the universe. There's chaos in the universe. We're certainly influenced by genetics and all sorts of things. But also we have the emotional freedom where you're walking down the street and all of a sudden we decide to climb a tree for no particular reason. We just decide, oh, we're going to climb a tree, or we start running. How many times has that happened to you? You're taking a hike and you just start running, or you pass by a pool of water and you just rip off your clothes and you jump in.
Well, that's something you do. I usually burst into song randomly, but you can take off your clothes and throw yourself in a well.
I do that all the time. I do.
Sure
I
you do.
even do that when there's no place to throw myself into. There's no water. Anyway, so are we free? Am I free to decide the next words that are coming out of my mouth? This is a good question for you, okay? How free is our speech, for instance? Are we free?
Watermelon.
Now, we have external forces and we have internal forces.
Okay.
So then there's something called, there's a via media in free speech and in freedom and determinism. And that says it's called soft determinism or weak determinism. And weak determinism simply means that it's both and. It's not either or. We're not either totally determined or we're totally free. It's a mixture of determinism and freedom.
Why is it not also soft free will, or why soft determinism?
Well, that you could look at it that way. There are some people who sell that idea as soft free will, but for some reason, people like to define the question as determinism or not. I think it's our innate determined.
They were determined to say.
It's our determined disposition to be eager to be free from determinism.
Wow. Okay. You solved absolutely nothing.
Well, the basic line is that the popular notion now is we only think that we're free. We only think that we're free. And we are free to think that we're free. But in reality, if we look at our life, we realize we are determined by a whole set of factors that we have no control over. I didn't fill out any papers to be an Irish Catholic born in 1944 in Salem, Massachusetts. I don't know if you did. I didn't request my parents. I didn't structure that. I didn't choose all of the indoctrination that I got in schools and religious formation. I didn't choose any of that. Now that I'm an adult, I'm reviewing all of that. And that is my sense of freedom there. So obviously we do have some sense of freedom because we have the ability to question and to criticize ourselves.
Interesting. To question and criticize ourselves is proof of free will.
Hmm.
Or
Yep.
are you sure you're not determined? This sounds like a very much chicken the egg sort of question, because pretty much everything you say on one hand, you could say, well, you had the free will to do it, or you could also say you were determined to say that. It seems very much chicken and eggy.
Well,
Would you
that's
say?
exactly why. That's exactly why most people believe in the both and solution to the freedom determinism argument that most people opt for. We're
Oh,
both determined.
I'll go the high road even further.
Yeah.
I will take the stoic road and be completely at peace with whatever may be the case and simply focus on what I do know and what I can do, rather than worry about whether I was determined or not, because in the grand scheme of things, isn't it really irrelevant to a
It
life well
is. It's
lived?
something that only professional philosophers have the luxury to sit around and discuss while they're picking lint out of their navel. But yeah.
In any case, thank you for this enlightening discussion. Folks, make sure to never waste your life with this discussion, but thank you for wasting your time with our show. Make sure that you also waste your money on our show, because it'll be the least wasteful is
He
spending your
needs
money.
money. He needs money.
College
He's a
ain't
starving
cheap, guys. Yeah. Thanks, guys, very much. Take care.
We'll see you later, Alex. Bye-bye.